Cool. All right, so we're live. I'll put my keyboard back because I don't need it. We're going to stream for an hour or so, and I'm going to get some work done on this fancy schmancy. Hello, Vince. Good to see you, sir. So what are we working on, you ask? Well, we're burning another board. Yes, you are, sir. And I'm going to cut some felt. The top piece to the Royal Game of Ur is actually in the process of drying right now. So I'm going to, for the bottom of the board game, and that's what I'm working on. And it is ridiculously hot today. So if you didn't know, I live in Maine, and it was like 95 degrees. Wow, I got to get some scissors that'll actually do this work for me. Because these scissors, while they normally cut just about anything, are not really digging cutting this felt today. So, but it's all right. I meant to bring my X-Acto knife, and I forgot again. So. All right, so we have a piece of felt. I'm trying not to stretch it either, but I think that is a thing. Maybe I'll leave these little tags in place, give it a little bit more something. Nah, I'm gonna cut them off. I'm doing a test to see just how well the laser will cut. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to kind of leave it alone. I've turned the speed down on it for this particular job, so it's going to take a lot longer to cut, which sucks. But I was wondering if putting tape on the wood, then cutting, etching, then painting the symbols before removing the tape from the rest will help. That actually does help in some cases. In this particular case, it's wood, so probably not so much. I guess it really depends on what I'm doing. Because, I mean, wood is really not that bad for cutting. If you're interested in cutting glass, though, there's there's a couple of ways you can do it. I've done it with, or not cutting glass, but etching glass. I have used tape, and then I found out that using something like Dawn dish soap on the surface will actually accomplish the same thing. So that is going to be coming up at some point in a video, so we can see just how well that works out. All right, so I got this in upside down, so I got to flip it. Or maybe I don't. But either way, we now have some felt in our box. So that's cool. I'm digging that. We'll have to glue it in. I wanted to go with a kind of a red instead of a like green or something. I don't know why. I just felt the need to go with a red, so I grabbed it. It's like a kind of a burgundy color. It's not really like a red, so. I will tell you, though, it is fantastically warm in here, and I'm not running 3D printers, so. Got some really nice juice coming out of the laser right now, which actually, why don't I just move you guys over to the laser for right now, unless you want to watch me sand. This is a really slow print, so please don't expect a fast print like we did yesterday, because this isn't a fast print. This one is a slow print. So there you go. The idea is that I was going to focus on kind of the details today and see kind of just how much detail I could get by going slow. So if my sanding gets annoying, you can always mute me, and I apologize for that. But I did get some other stuff too, which I can certainly share shortly. I just have quite a bit of, you know what, actually, I can make this job go a lot faster. Let's see, we got a random orbital here. It's not I don't have a high grit paper on here, unfortunately. I think this is this is the two, I can't use that. Got a 240 grit on that. I need a coarser grind. So let's go with the 120 grit, because that's a little bit closer to 80, I guess. I'll use that. So this might get a little noisy, so I apologize, but we're going to give that a shot. So find an outlet to plug this in at. I'm also going to do some resin pouring in a little bit. I just have to, I would like to get this what do you call it? I'd like to get this sanding out of the way. So be prepared. If you need to mute me, now would be the time to do that. All right. That's got a much nicer feel to it, which is good. So hopefully now we can stay a little quieter. And I think I'm going to relocate the fan because it is way too hot in here at the moment for me to be sitting here like this. So I'm gonna grab the fan and I'm gonna relocate it into the doorway. So give me a second. Maybe I need to get another fan, huh? There we go. Now we got some good airflow. A little bit too much probably, but I gotta also fix my cable here on my tripod. Rah. There we go. All right, now we're doing more of what we need to be doing. So as you can see, this is the version I did last night, which you can't really see the detail on, but it's got a few more minutes to dry, and then I'll be finishing up on that for the sanding. Hello, D. How are you, good sir? All right, so we're gonna continue on with. I'm gonna continue on sanding while we're watching the really slow print going. Like I said, this is an intentional thing. I'm just running that print slow. I want to see if the machine actually errors out while it's doing this. I'm kind of hoping it does not. But, you know, sometimes weird things happen. I'm also going for a little bit more of a slow but detailed burn. So, like I said, we're going to play with it and see what happens. I'll look for my files too while I'm at it, because otherwise I'm going to be sanding this thing until next year. Although I will say that it does have lots of character, which I do kind of enjoy. So. Oh, yes. The lovely game of Now, I am thinking about painting the exterior of this as well. I think it could actually have a kind of a neat look to it if I do that. Honestly, I haven't decided on the specific color that I want to go with. But we could always try doing a black wash on this. And if this is something you want to watch, I can always switch the camera back over to me so we can actually, have a dialogue and talk and all that. But I will leave that up to you for what you are interested in watching. I am grabbing some water because I need some water for the wash. I think we'll probably do I don't know. I'm not sure what we want to do. It's good to have you, though, here, D. It's been a while since I've seen it. All right, so we've got a couple of little projects to do. Now that I've gotten the sanding out of the way, what I might do is actually just grab the lid now, and maybe we'll start looking at mounting those hinges. I'm going to have to go through and do something. I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. I need some tape. So I'm going to have to borrow my tape. which is fine because I don't really need that for this particular section that I'm doing right now. But I need to tape the lid together so I can make sure the hinges are lined up. And then we'll do a final sanding on the other side before I attach the latch. Or I may have to sand this beforehand. It looks like I'll probably have to sand a little bit. Oh, what's going? How are you? So, yes, I'm going to take some of this proudness off of the case to get that hinge on there. It's actually not as proud as I was expecting it to be, but it is a little proud, so I'm going to have to take care of that with a little bit of sanding. But hello, Don. How are you today? My hands are full, but I can always have a moment to do that. So let's see. All right, we're all set for today. Okay, good. Oh. As I said, I'm just sitting here and doing some sanding. So I have to mount these hinges. And I really want it to look okay. And I think I got enough sanding on this surface to do it. So I'm going to pull those little, these are the brass look hinges. Just you can see that. And these are the ones I'm going to use for this project. So we're going to see how that works. I don't know if the wood is actually too thin for this, but we are going to try it anyway. Now I just need to find a small screwdriver. It's a very small screwdriver, which we are fortunate to have this wonderful set from, I think this one I got from Home Depot. Make sure it's the right size though. All right. And we're going to line up the first hinge, which I know you can't see this, but I think you'll be okay. So once I get it lined up, I'm actually going to take a little piece of tape, tape the one side of the hinge in place. And then there we go. And then I can do apply a little bit of glue to the actual screws themselves. And we should be all set. Trick is to just kind of make sure that my hinges are at least close to the same height and all that. But our print looks like it's just about, it is just a little over half done now, so that's good. Our print, our laser cut, whatever you want to call it. Some people get mad at me when I call it a print. because it's not a 3D printer, but it is effectively doing the same thing. It's just subtracting instead of adding. All right, I'm going to grab my glue. I'm not going to use super glue for this. I'm going to use just regular wood glue, because it's not like it needs to be a rapid set. It just needs to set. And I'm only going to put a little tiny dot on the very end of the threads. And apparently I don't know what a dot means, because that was not a dot. But that's all right. I will take some of that off with a towel. And then we'll clean it up a little later. Yeah, right. Well, it's a little warm in here. So I think what happened was my little the issue I had was the glue was just thin enough that it said, I want to come out fast. And then, of course, it wanted to go right down the screw. So there we go. So we got 2 screws in right now on our hinge. I'm going to try and get my other one to line up just right, because my other one decided to go wandering. I have 90 degrees outside, and I don't know what temperature it is inside right now. Probably 70 something. My house, it's 80, but I came here so I could beat the heat. And the thick super glue, and it was the regular tube and stuck everything. Oh, yeah. I completely understand what you're saying there. There we go. Sorry, give me 1 second. I am suffering from fumble fingers. There we go. These are really tiny screws, so unfortunately, that also means that because they're tiny, they are going to want to do weird things. Well, chubby digits and all that. Yeah, humidity is pretty significant today, so I can understand that. Today felt like a good day to just kind of hang out while I was wrapping up the game of obviously, I mean, as you kind of probably guessed from last night, I was going to have a little bit stuff left to do on this one. I have actually 2 or 3 more of these that I need to make. I'm still working on the initial prototype, which is fine. But I've had a request for a couple more of these already, and I haven't even finished the prototype yet. So it's a very fun game. So I still have to find some D4 dice though that are blank. I have not successfully located them in a reasonable price point. So if anybody finds them at a reasonable cost, please do let me know. Because I really do need them for this project. I had thought about that, Vince, but the problem is I want to actually get them true to weight. If I can, I would be okay with so words I'm looking for. Words. I need words. I would be willing to cast them in resin, but they are very, very small. And it's just, I'm concerned with printing them. I mean, I guess I could probably print a mold for them and do it that way. And then I'd get a consistent weight. All right, so the screws are now in place. So we're going to continue our journey here. I have a little bit more sanding to do. Oops. Looks like I took a little bit of my paint off too with my finger. Let's see how the action on the hinges. All right. Actually, that feels pretty nice. I just got to do the latch next. It is definitely not the prettiest little thing I've ever done in my life, but again, this is for camping and just kind of, family hangouts and stuff, competition. So half tempted to go grab my random orbital again and chew this down because it needs a lot of chewing down. I'm using 80 grit and I've still got a pretty good proud line on that one. But we'll get it. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, we're just about there on this part. So we're officially at 70%, and the machine has not crashed, so that's good. Vince, if you want to look up a D4 on, the interwebs, I'm not against printing them. I just, I don't have a whole heck of a lot of filament, but I guess it really wouldn't take it. They're going to be small. I just don't know how well they're going to come out unless I print them extremely slow. And I could do them solid, which may actually work. It's against every fiber of my being to print something solid on a 3D printer, but I suppose for dice it wouldn't be a bad thing. I may need to get another piece of paper. This Sandpaper is wearing out on me. Yeah, I don't have a resin printer yet, though, remember? Oh, it is Mr. Carl again. You know, I think I saw Where's Waldo with you involved somewhere. Was it on Twitter? Somebody caught you on video somewhere? Oh, yes. Okay, so we're a little bit better here. We're still just a tiny bit proud on this one, but you know, I'm okay with that. Hinge action is really steady. I don't know. Let's see if we can't. Let's take a look at this. The actual latching mechanism and see if that's something we can actually work with here. I think we could probably make that work. I do declare. Oh. This is unfortunate. I don't know that this actually is going to work for this. Because the latch is sort of backwards to what I'm trying to accomplish here. So, no, I do not think this latch is going to work for this project. I don't have enough material to work with. That's too bad. But that's all right, because that's why we do things, right? I should have gotten the latch that I initially wanted. And I was like, oh, this one's prettier. And I don't know what I was thinking. So, yes, we don't have a latch right now. That's okay. We will come up with something later. What is... Okay. So that is a none deal right there. All right, let's get some of this garbage off of the desk here. Let's close up our glue, because I think we're done with that for the moment. We're getting a bit of char going on there. Looks like we found maybe a layer where there's a sap pocket or something. Not bad. It's a real nice kind of gold look that it's getting right now. I don't know if that's really represented in the video, but all right. So now we're going to take first off. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, you can, right? So we now have a hinge. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to lightly sand off the surface where the black is. So I need a... What do I need? I need a worn piece of... I don't want to use a high grit. I want to use a low grit. Actually, I've got a small sanding sponge. I don't know what grit that is, but it's definitely worn. So we'll use that to kind of buff this. You guys want to keep watching the laser, or do you want to watch me sand? You have that choice. I could show you kind of what I'm doing. So I'm good with whichever you want. All right, so I may have to take this down with a little bit coarser. I have an 80 grit block that's just a little bit more worn. Sorry, never throw out your sandpaper, and if you do, always have access to it for when you're done. There we go. Now we're getting some of that detail that we wanted. Excellent. All right. Getting a little worried for a second there because I was like, man, this detail's not coming out. All right, so we are at 87% on the laser cut, so that's good. And I haven't touched the computer or looked at it since I started it, other than to see what percentage it was at. So, and with this design, since my latches don't work, I can actually switch to a magnet system, which I think I will probably do. That'll make things a little easier. So instead of a latch, I'll just tap in and glue some couple of magnets in place. I know it's cheating because, 3,000 years ago, did they use magnets on board games? I think they probably just used pieces of wood and maybe a drawer. This is also an item you can 3D print. I believe I have seen this available on the internet for printing. So if that is something that you are into, you can print this game on the 3D printer. If it's something you would like to do. All right, so we've got a pretty nice looking patina on the surface of this, so I'm very happy with that. I'll do is I'll bring that over to you so you can see it. Yeah, I'll bet. Oh, actually, yes, I do believe I remember seeing that at some point in my travels. Let me finish taking this real kind of higher grit paper here to my there we go. I'm just trying to kind of bring down the hard scratches and kind of bring it down to a little bit more reasonable level. I don't want it to be clean, obviously. I want it to stay kind of somewhat dirty. But I also want to get some pigment on this because I'm going to touch this with a little bit of paint here shortly. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. It almost hurts my eyes. It is so contrasty. All right. So this is a better rendition of this is the same piece from last night. So if you haven't seen the first part of this, this is the second part of it. Now we're going to apply some color to this. So again, if you haven't seen last night's, just go in, take a look, fast forward it to what you're interested in seeing. So, hello, Ron. Yep, I figured why not. This is part 2 of the game of from last night. What I need to do now is I'm going to probably put that felt in real quick. These screws do come out the other side, but I think I'm going to just leave them for now. What I could do is just glue a little piece of like scrap material in there just to kind of make sure nobody gets their finger scratched. So I'll probably just break a piece off and do that. Is that after you're chalking? Yes, actually. Well, no, I this is me redoing what I did last night. So, I mean, it's the same piece from last night. It's just that I have to, and I'm not happy with that. So no, we're not going to use that. Forget I said that. So yeah, anyway, it's the same piece. I just basically went through and redarkened it because I didn't have a really good black last night. I tried using the chalk, but it's just not dark enough for a wash like this. I washed this down with a black. So anyway, I need a glue stick, which is funny. I'm going to use a glue stick to hold this felt in place because I've had the experience where using regular glue like Elmer's or super glue, and it leaches through the material in a way that is not pleasant. So we're just going to kind of stuff this in here. Then I'm going to take a popsicle stick and work it into the corners. And then we're just going to let it kind of set and dry. So it should be fine after that. Just need a popsicle stick. Popsicle stick! Which is nice because I have an entire box of popsicle sticks. So we're going to push this into the corners to try and... There we go. Oh, yes, this is much nicer. I still got to do the instructions for this particular game because this one's going to be using the simpler instructions. I figured that would be easier for the kids to learn when I take this with us when we're camping. So I'm sure that we'll be looking up the more complicated directions for this game in the future. It appears that we are done with part 1 of this job. So now we're going to switch to part 2, which is the vector engraving. So we're going to turn the temperature down just a little bit. I don't need it to be horrible. And then we're just going to go ahead and we'll probably run it one more time because that's definitely not very, very high powered. That's going to come right off. So we'll do that again at a little higher power. All right. So now what we have is we got some game pieces, which are right here. There's 2 different colors. I don't know what the official name of these things are, but these are the little things I'm going to use. So it's nice because the bag is actually tied. There's 7 for each player. So I'm going to count those out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And these would be like simulating the stones and all that. And I realize that this is not done yet, but I'm kind of interested in seeing how well these fit in here. 6 and 7. Nice. They fit in wonderfully. Now I just need to find my old dice bag so I can see if my dice will fit. All right, so now we are going to start doing some painting. So if you want to watch me paint, you can watch me paint. If you want to watch my laser, you can watch my laser. So This is a forum where I am happy doing whichever. I'm also happy to wipe the bottom of this thing off. What a great little thing, though. I mean, this is such a wonderful little project. This project I did design completely from scratch, just looking at graphics online. I did not use any of the traditional measurements on this. I should have, but I did not. And we're going to turn the heat up a little bit on this. We're going to do that vector. There we go. We turn it maybe down just a tiny bit. It's right on the edge of catching on fire, and we don't really want it to really do that. We want to keep that as delicate as we can, but we still want to draw paint into it. There we go. It looks very nice. Okay, that's going to be very clean, so we're going to leave that alone. All right, so I'm going to start painting this now. I've got my little happy little paintbrush right here. My happy little paint tray. We're going to pull out 2 colors, but we're going to start with one. We're going to go with this is what they call the metallics. It is a bright red. You really don't need a lot, so because the more you use, the more I have to get rid of later. So and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just touch the rosettes with this paint. I don't want to go too dark with the rosettes because I really want it to kind of feel like it's a, like something like, I want it to feel aged a little bit. I'm also going to do a little bit of dry brushing, which I probably should have done before I started doing the rosette, actually. So I may stop doing this and wipe this off. Oh, that looks so sharp. Yeah, I got to do a quick dry brush. I don't know why I brain farted on that. I need a piece of scrap that I can use. We're going to use the antique white for this. I'm just going to make a little line of paint on my scrap. And I am going to, we'll do this. We're going to turn the heat up. We're going to turn it up to 11. Ha ha ha. I need a fan though. I'm going to have to relocate that fan, I think. Relocating the fan because we're going to need it for this job. We don't want to cut without ventilation, so. All right, there we go. And we're going to use our tape to hold the lid open until we 3D print something to put in there. Yeah, but it's cooler here than it is at my house. So it's much more fun to just be here and do this. We're going to just do a vector cut at, let's do it at 20 because I really am concerned. Yeah, we're going to do this one a little bit faster today because I really don't want to. I don't want the same scorching that I did on mine yesterday. I don't want all that smoke coming out here, so I'm gonna let that calm down for a couple of minutes. Like 100, yeah. Well, I figured you're not that far away from me, bud. So if it gets hot here, I'm sure it gets hot there. A little bit of an issue here. My brush went just a little too deep into my pockets, so I'm gonna have to re-black some of this stuff a little bit. Not a biggie, but it was just kind of a. I was trying to avoid that. But you know, happy little accidents and all that. All right. I'm gonna take a little bit of this cloth here. We're gonna wipe some of this excess off. Give it kind of a nice little, kind of a texture. And then I'm gonna have to go in with a little bit of the black again, which kind of stinks. And kind of hit some of the little spots. I'm gonna try not to die here because, yeah, it's humid, but for some reason it's also smoky in here. I don't understand why that is. So I gotta kind of backpedal just a touch from what I was doing. I need to switch back to a black. So we're gonna. I'm going to cheat, though. I'm going to actually speed the process up with a different product than I would normally use. Probably more period accurate, though. This is actually a like pen ink that I'm using. But it's wet, so I can kind of get it to kind of fall where I want it to. Well, that is going to have a nice little look to it. Layers and layers and layers of paint. That's how this works, right? All right, let's see if we need to cut this one more time. Maybe. We're gonna hit the vector cut. We're gonna see what it does. Actually, I think we're probably done. Let it go around the border one time, and then we'll probably shut it off. Got a little aggressive with my wiping. All right, so this one should be done. So that looks very nice. Very nice indeed. We'll put that off to the side. We got another one to cut. Probably might do 2 more. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm trying to find my little pieces of wood that I can use. My tape measure. Yeah, that's narrow, but it may work. Oh yeah, that'll work. It's a little close, but let's pull that down just a tiny bit. Oops. Let's put our little shims back in there. There we go. All right, so we're back to doing this again. So we're going to turn that heat down. And we're going to go ahead and change our speed. So we're going to do 200 this time. And we're going to see if the machine crashes. If the machine crashes, well, then we'll know it's probably a speed-related issue, more so, or like a board on, or an on-board issue, I should say. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So I've made a giant mess of my my board here, but it just means that I got to rework stuff because I got a little ambitious. But that is why I'm experimenting on this, because I want to see just how well this works. So and it is absolutely wonderful to be able to play around with work that you have, you know, put together yourself and you know, 3D printed or laser cut or hand drawn or photoshopped, and just be able to like experiment with like just layers and layers of just color. And again, if at any point you want me to stop pointing at the laser and you want to like talk to me or look at me while I'm experimenting with these different things, I am fine with that. I happen to see that I like watching the laser cutter, you know, do its thing. So, and what I'm doing is experimenting anyway, so I don't know that that's all that interesting. Okay, so I bought another printer. Now I'm gonna have to rearrange it. Yeah, right. I don't know how you even walk into your basement, let alone put another printer in it. But good for you. Another FDM, or is it a like a resin printer? I tell you, that is the last thing. I mean, I told myself I didn't need any more printers, but I would actually like to have a resin printer. I think that would definitely add to some of the abilities that I have to get certain things done. So there we go. I think that'll be sufficient. We'll let this dry. CR10S Pro, very nice. Yeah, I think the CR10S Pro has a lot of promise. Yeah, as you can see, I had to redo some of the paint on that. But I got to tell you, this one came out fantastic. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on this one, since I have the paint right in front of me. Oh, look at that thirsty wood. It just draws it right in. Like the capillary action is so amazing on the on this wood. I mean, it's just sucking it right in. Robbie Mack, hold on a sec, buddy. I don't want to miss you. There you go, buddy. I think got everybody in here now. Photon for 300 now. Yeah, you know, I've a lot of people have been getting a bunch of the newer. There's like a bunch of what do you call it? Cheapy Charlie. I don't know, what do you want to call it? The 3D printer or the resin printers lately. They've started finding a much lower cost. I mean, some of the reviews actually look promising too. But I haven't looked at any specific because I'm not really looking to buy at the moment because I have no money. So right now I'm working with the machines that I have. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Not much. How are you, Robbie? I'm doing the Game of It's the Royal Game of is what the name of the game is. It is a very old, suppose about 3,000-year-old game. And I did my own graphics for this one, but you can certainly look it up online. There's some more information in the first video that I did yesterday. Well, I guess technically this morning. It really wasn't yesterday. And fast forward through all the stuff to kind of see exactly what I'm working on. But you could see on the, I'm working on some aging on the wood right now. I'm actually doing a second one right now, which I probably shouldn't because it's going to warp, but I'm going to do it anyway. In other words, just fun stuff. Oh, there you go. Nah, if anybody, like I said, if anybody ever really just wanted to give me money on PayPal, it's certainly available. I do quite a bit of business. I don't make a lot of money using it, but I do get a lot of Chinese products that people want me to review periodically on Amazon. So, and I do those, which is fine. I mean, I get the products, I just don't get really any money for it because I get the product. So, what more is there? So yeah, I use my PayPal a lot for that. Thankfully, I have been very fortunate to get some pretty good products lately. So they're nothing expensive. So I haven't had to go, oh yeah, 4 stars for you. So. Large. That's cool, buddy. Steel wool and vinegar to gray out and age the wood. Yeah, I've seen a lot of different tips and techniques you can use. I'm actually doing this wash that I'm using right now is it's Pro Art waterproof opaque India ink. That's what I'm using right now. And just watching the capillary action in the wood is just phenomenal. So that's what I'm working on right now. That's why I get quiet because I'm tracing lines and stuff and so I get my fan back to myself too. What else? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I do have the PayPal option, which is cool, but honestly, I do so much just basic hobby stuff that I don't think most people are interested in really doing much with that. I do have one Patreon, even though I haven't really updated my Patreon page much lately, which I need to do. Mostly because I'm horrible with social media. I can do it in spurts, but I have this thing where it's just like I don't want to do it now, and then it's like, oh yeah, I got to do it now. And so I'll go back and forth, and it's like it's not fair to people. I shouldn't be like that, but I don't have a crew. It's just me, and I work a lot. So yeah, social media doesn't work for me very well. But if people understand that and they're still willing to contribute to my Patreon, that is awesome. So, and I almost have enough to get a roll of filament right now because of my Patreon. So, let's see. Practical print for me today. Bought a stainless table that has an adjustable height top. Yep. Nice. That's cool. I love that we can do stuff like that, though. But I'll be honest, you had me at stainless. I'm wondering if I should do a special forces, like an armed forces version of this. That could be kind of fun. I may have to think about that one. I don't think I could design it today. Maybe. All right, what am I missing here? Nice. 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 Yeah, the one that we have here is closing. Yeah, I know, right? Carl's doing an awesome job. Do. I don't think I'll ever have enough viewing hours. I came close. Well, I mean, when I first started, I was monetized like not too long because it was like the requirements were so lacking back then. And then you had some of the channels that just grew so large and pretty quickly that they're like, oh yeah, so now you get to have this many subs. So then I lost it. And then after like 3 days, by the way, that's the funny part. And then I got sort of close to it. No, actually, I didn't. I'm not close to even that other one. And then they changed it again. So now I'm even farther away. So, but like I said, it doesn't really matter to me because this is mostly just a kind of a hobby thing anyway. Hobby and hangout without the hangout part right at the moment. We'll get back to the hangout at some point. I wasn't expecting to stream today anyway. But when you have something creative you want to do and you want to share, I mean, you just gotta do it. That's cool, bud. Yeah, right. I could easily do something like that, but I think Carl would Carl would definitely be able to do that on his channel for sure. I don't physically have enough filament to do that. Carl's got to hurry though, so he can get in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest continuous 3D print. Yeah, I can understand that, Carl. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me either. Considering I think they're printing, what is it, the thruster nozzles for the rockets. What are we missing here? 137 feet ABS. Oh, good God. Space vacuuming training center. Was it checking it? It could be in 4 days. Problem is finding a building long enough to. Right. Well, see, what you want is a print so big that you have to compete with the curvature of the Earth. How about that? Then you find a company willing to sponsor you for the filament. You know, like a 50 kilogram roll or spool or whatever. And then just done. Find somebody local to sponsor the sorry, I'm pouring water on my project here because I need to get this thing to flatten out a little bit because I wetted the front, not the back, and now it's doing that whole warping thing, which is not a problem. It's just a thing with this type of wood. I need to find something to squish it with while it dries. All right, what do we got here? We got a piece of something. I've got shells that I can use. Whoops. I also have clamps. Actually, why don't we just use the clamps today? That's probably a better idea. Where's my other? There it is. I was looking for my other clamp. By the way, I was trying. Oh, there you go. That's too bad, bud. Sorry about that. All right. Interesting. Well, it looks like my part is dry. I guess that's the benefit to having a warm room today. Come here, you. There you go. All right. And we'll get this paint out of the way. Put that in the cup. Okay. Oh, wow. That's harsh. What? Quit that. Damn it. Tommy. You know, you freaking jumped the crap out of me when you did that. I'm like, what? All right. There. Now we've gotten that back to... I think I'm going to leave that other part alone this time because I kind of like the way this is coming out anyway. So I think I'm going to just leave it like this. This will be my first prototype, and then I'll just do a quick touch of a little bit of white on some of this, but I'm going to try a different technique this time because the last one didn't work. He is. Oh, there was a fire. Okay, so you weren't lying then. All right. It's okay if there's a little bit of a fire. It's just not okay if there's a lot of a fire. This is so much fun though. All right, now I'm going to actually start doing this painting because I really want to start getting some color on this thing. I got to rinse out my paint tray though because I got black everywhere. And I really just don't want to have that much everywhere. But I will say that the ink worked really well. All right. Still got to do that silicone mold too. I got to start working on that in a little bit before I get too much out of time here. All right. Got all kinds of all these projects are stacking up here. All right. So we got that. We're going to do this one more time. Fire. I'll check my phone, make sure I don't have any missed calls. No, yet. Nunca. No, nada. Still have a bit of sanding to do on this poor thing, though. So I got to bring those edges down. But other than that, this is just freaking gorgeous. Smarty pants. There is a fireball following it right now. But I'm actually watching it right now. I like Niagara. Haven't been there in many years, but I like it. A little bit of a denser material than the last one I did, so didn't quite make it all the way through, but that's all right. We'll cut that with the razor knife later. I think that's it for that for right now, so we're going to cut that off. Yeah, I know. Now you guys get to like see what I'm doing here. That's right. It's like crying wolf. It's gonna go poosh, and then yeah. All right, so I'm done with the screwdriver. So we'll put that away. And I'm done with the scissors, so put them away. And let's see. I did. I probably missed more than one spot. Thank you. No, I've still got to do. I got to finish the latching mechanism, but I don't have the stuff I need here. I have to do it when I get home. And I've still got a bit of sanding I got to get done as well. But when I have a couple extra dollars, yours is cut. It didn't cut all the way through, but that's actually a good thing because if I'm shipping it to you, I would rather have a little bit of material there holding it together so it doesn't break. So it only needs a little bit of just, the razor knife. So and I'll show you the other one in a minute. Wow. What's the price on them? $200 for 5. Oh, what? $8? Oh, okay, now I understand. And that is funny. Sorry. Try to tell me jokes while I'm painting. I don't think that would be my videos today. So I got that fan sitting right behind me. I agree with you on that one. That's why I don't use the one on my camera. I know, as much as it probably pains you guys to hear this, but I am pretty much just about done with the stream, so we should probably consider wrapping it up. So just wanted to thank everybody for being here today. Got some production work done. I was going to get that. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Well, let's not wrap the stream just yet, unless well, we can, but if you want to watch the resin thing, I got to do that real quick. So I'm gonna grab that so I can do that. I got to spray some release agent into the mold real quick. That's done. There's the mold. And then I need a couple of those. One of those. And let's see. We need. Where's the other ones? There they are. A couple of these. And one more of these. Two of those. Two of these. And need some pigment. Let's go with that one. I think that's all I need to get started. So we got and if anybody wants to buy me some of the Total Boat resin, I would love you for a very long time. Because I've wanted some of that stuff for a very long time. All right. Yeah. Total Boat resin. It's the stuff that Evan and Caitlin have been using on their resin projects, and I think it just looks really good. Oh, I need. Can't see what I'm doing here. Oops. I got a chunky bit in there. We don't want that. All right, we're going to try that. And then if we need to add more, we'll add more. And we need this. Yeah, right? I didn't say it was cheap, did I? I just said I wanted some. And if somebody wanted to buy me some, they could. I think resin in general is expensive. I don't think it really matters which company you shoot for. Well, it's not it's one pump to one pump, I think, with Total Boat. So, which means that it's not. I don't think it's 2 full gallons. I think it's 1 gallon and a third of a gallon, essentially. All right, so we're gonna. Oh, that's very purple. I wonder if we should put some glow-in-the-dark pigment in this just for fun. No, not in this part. I think we'll do it later. Later, Carl. Thank you, bud. You too, buddy. I think my phone's ringing. I should probably check and see who that is. It's all right. I gotta actually log off here anyway. I just did promise that I would show you the the resin pour. So you guys, I appreciate you being here, and have a freaking awesome day. So I'll see you guys later.